Round 19, Darlington. Okay, we're starting on pole position. And before I actually start talking about, you know, the whole thing I was talking about, the life force system that I was talking about in the last race, which I had to interrupt because the race was over. Let's deal with the race start first and foremost. Then we can start blabbing about nonsense. There we go. Through goes Dinero Papuas, so goes Hubert. We're keeping Cassidy behind. I just remember these two guys, so that's not gonna be a problem. And the guy behind me. But in the meantime, we're already caught up to Hubert and gone through at the exit of 4. Okay. Next up is Dinero Papuas. Of course, I'm gonna slow down because I want to save the tires. Let's see if I can do this on 3 and 4. Come on, there you go. Nice. Okay, we are in the lead again. So the thing I was saying is that the lap system, which is the point system that NASCAR used through the entirety of the Worcester Cup era, so from the 70s up to 2003, I've read a lot of opinions and pretty much all of them agree on one thing. It kind of sucks. Then I've read an article as to explain why that's the case, and the point that it made is that it was unnecessarily busy. I mean, a lot. It said, and this article saying, I know a lot of people say that the playoff system is super confusing and it makes no sense, but it's not like the original, the life force system is any better. Which, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's 5 points up until 6, then it becomes 4, then 3, then 2. Like the point spread gets lower the lower you get into the grid, which, yeah, it makes sense. This is only 5-point spread between first and second. Of course, not counting the extra points for leading a lap and leading the most laps, which are 5 for both. And second, the one that I read on Reddit is that it promotes, well, not exactly being super consistent, but more like don't DNF. Basically, the argument is that the lap force system, rather than promote consistency, the key factor was as long as you don't DNF, you're pretty much good to go. And one example that had been given was 1986. Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon, at third of the wins, pulled similar numbers, but because Gordon had more DNFs than Terry Labonte did, Labonte came away with the championship. Or other examples like in 2001. 2001 could have been a freeway battle between Jeff Gordon and the Yates boys, so Ricky Rudd and Dale Jarrett. Then they both shot the bed. Or again, 1992. I mean, Alan Korwicki managed to actually get anywhere near a championship fight because Davey Allison and Bill Elliott traded DNFs like, as Lapshus said, they would trade DNFs like they were trading cards. And of course, Korwicki kept out of trouble most of the time. And of course, another big example, is that with a much more reliable car and a field, by midway through, it's pretty clear who's actually going to win the championship. To which, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, my example will be Matt Kenseth in 2003. Now, We know that the decision of adding the playoffs ended up being the worst thing ever because, Carl Larson won 2 titles and the second title really should have. The second title Carl Larson won, he would have still won it even without the playoffs, but people were rooting for Denny Hamlin, so it doesn't matter. Of course, Joe Logano finishing with 3 championships, despite the last one winning the championship, despite 2 of those championships winning 2 of those by doing basically nothing the entire season, being at the right place at the right time. Then what? Of course, Kevin Harvick, he was the best driver in 2020 post-pandemic break, but of course, because of what happened in Martinsville, he came out short. But at the time, it made sense. As I stated, Kansas won the championship early and finished last at Homestead. And apparently, once he took the lead, he drove it like he wasn't really defending a lead, but just basically he found himself in the lead just like that and wasn't really caring. And for these purposes, a good chunk of those years before 2003, championship battles ended up becoming like ended up ending on a major whimper. Like 2001, 2002 actually ended on. 2002 still ended the final race, but it could have been a lot more exciting if, Kansas didn't happen, or what happened to Kansas. If actually all the things that happened to Kansas didn't happen. 2001 could have been a freeway battle, but instead Jeff Gordon just ran away with it because the Yates boys fucked up. 2000, I believe it was. No, he actually finished a race early because the finale was at Atlanta this time, wasn't it? And Bobby Labonte wrapped it up in 2000. 1999, I'm pretty sure that was also wrapped up early. 1998, it was just 2 guys, but Jeff Gordon wrapped up the title because Mark Martin, if he had a bad race, he had a really awful race. So, yeah, at the time, it made sense why they would adopt the chase system. So, yeah. So I guess that's basically. I think I mentioned all the examples. So yeah, that's pretty much the. And the same article said, the current system that we have, and considering how many of the championships have ended with the playoff system, and considering that if you go look at the racing reference and check out the championship in previous years, what have looked like without the playoffs, those almost every single one of those championships ended up doing wire. So I guess they still managed to. I guess the point system they have is, pretty decent. The only problem is that they have to find a way to, promote more winning and, avoid the 2003 where one guy, because I assume, well, not assume, I guess that's what happened. Brian France looked at Matt Kenseth's championship run and said, if one guy can win a championship with no wins, how long will it be before somebody is going to win it with no wins if he wins the championship by going winless? So, yeah, I guess the bigger problem, aside of having to say Jeff Gordon that we're sorry that we took away what would have been titles number 5, 6, and 7 for you with the playoffs. There's also the thing of how do we make a point system that rewards consistency but also doesn't make wins worthless? Because that was basically what Brian France fought with for the last couple of years, especially again with Matt Kenseth in 2003. But that's what I want to say in that race. And the second thing that I want to talk about the race is that I've been watching. I teased this project with Formula 2014 that I want to do with the SNL retailing cast, or well, just my characters in general, not just the SNL retelling ones. And actually, before I say anything, what I want to say is that I'm currently doing the lineups, and I can confirm that all the drivers, all the characters that I've used in the series that I've done in Formula 1 are all returning. Bart, Brother Diagonal, and the other guy that I don't remember the name of because the characters are not mine, so yeah. But everybody is coming back. So Sigurd, May, she's also from SNL Retelling, May Kanazawa, Gary, Malady, Hilda, shit, I want to say Leon, who's based off of Hilda from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Then I don't remember who else. Malady, I said, Gary Kane, of course Eric Chapman, and of course Homura Clark. And the thing that I want to say is that I've been watching Arava's ultra modded career mode that he did on F1 2013 and F1 2014 because, you know, I thought it would be cool to see a pre-My Driver Arava. How it would look like before he came up with the whole concept of My Driver. Speaking of, I guess my fandom of Arava starts and ends with My Driver. Of course, My Driver, for those who don't know, is shall we say, it's a customized career mode that he started with F1 2015, the game that had no career mode. And in his own words, if I remember correctly, because he wanted Jenson Button to win a championship. Because Jenson Button was his favorite driver, and McLaren to win a championship. Then, of course, it evolved into the, I guess, the golden standard for ultra customized Formula 1 series. Not just career modes, but just series in general. He had 2 seasons with F1 2015, 2 seasons with F1 2016, and I think another 2 seasons with F1 2017, and then he did the final season in F1 2019, skipping 2018 entirely. But yeah, I started following Arava at season 3 of My Driver, the first one they did on F1 2016, and then followed up until the very end. And in all fairness, after he was done with My Driver, I just stopped watching him. And I'll be honest, I was starting to not like My Driver anymore by the first season he did on F1 2017, because the argument that I had at the time was that, the guy is throwing what should have been an easy championship away because he did a good story. To which, it's fair, now I can think of it and say, yeah, it's fair, after all, that's his series, that he does what he wants, but still, it would have been a little bit better if, you know, you made it a little bit more natural, instead of actively sabotaging yourself to make a story. I know that nobody likes to see a series where it ends on a major whimper, but still. In fact, by the way, actually, speaking of whimpers, I would assume I challenge you to think that he was not going to win the championship on his final season. Well, what was his final season at the time? When he made the last season, because, you know, the last season, so of course, he's actually going to win. But still, that was the month period in which I started not liking My Driver anymore. In fact, that was actually the period that I've started following some more custom career modes a la My Driver. Actually, right now, I rediscovered a guy called Fox98 that did the F1 Journey, which he started back in Formula 1 2017, and turns out that 8 years later, he's still doing it. Actually, 9 years later, he's still doing it. Now, he has nowhere near the amount of views that he had back then. I'm going to assume that the algorithm fucked him up pretty badly. There's another career, but yeah, I actually used to follow him up until season 3, if I remember correctly. And there was another career mode made by a guy called Nick Alflashes, that I actually did like, and he was planning to release all deliveries on Race Department, now Overtake.gg, which he only did like 3 of them or something like that, only released the 3 of them. And unfortunately, he deleted this account long ago, so you cannot find it anymore. You cannot find these videos anymore. But actually, Arava did upload, I believe, season 2 of My Driver on Race Department, again on Overtake.gg, and then never did anything ever again. I'm going to guess either people were stealing his stuff, or simply he decided to not bother anymore. To which it's probably the latter. He probably didn't care anymore, but yeah. Oh, and speaking of the OG YouTubers of back in the day, I also found out that Matt Gallagher closed down his old X-Medic G1 channel. And I found out about it because I came across a old video that he made, I think 10 years ago, when Project Car was brand new and was doing a career mode on that one, a series on that one. And I found out for the comments that, yeah, he deleted his account, to which I don't blame him. I mean, ever since he joined WTF1 and now he's got his own thing, I think it's called P1, something like that, he's making potentially a hell of a lot more money than he ever did when he was doing X-Medic G stuff. So I really don't blame him for just shutting down the channel. Also because, you know, that's like a old part of him that is not anymore. So I would assume that he's so ashamed of those videos that he's had to shut down the whole channel, which again, I don't blame him. But yeah, actually, I think of the OG YouTubers, Gallagher was like the one that got the one that got involved in Formula 1 the fastest, because he was invited in 2014 at K4M by K4M to the garage at the Spanish GP. Then, of course, he was invited by Etihad at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and he took a picture with Roman Grosjean. He was allowed at the end of season party, I believe in 2016. Then, of course, he got involved with the esports stuff when they at the beginning. He was a panelist, if I remember correctly. So yeah, also I think he also had a friend that was a professional golfer that was actually running in the PGA or something along those lines. So basically, the guy had connections. Now that I realized it. So yeah, and with all this big, massive wave of nostalgia, we are 2.5 laps from the finish. And I somehow managed to spot bullshit for almost 20 minutes, somehow. But yeah, 2 laps to go. Now, thank God we actually have more people that actually do Formula 1 games than just these guys. You know, Matt Beard, one or two, Gary Owen with Formula Owen, Alex the NASCAR stuff that he does. There's like a hell of a lot more people that do Formula 1 stuff nowadays. And honestly, I prefer these guys than, you know, the OGs like Ben Daly or, again, Arava. Still, white flag, 1 left to go. Also, once this video is done and recorded, I need to record the next NASCAR Nexus race. But in the meantime, around turn 3 and 4 we go. We're not gonna up anybody, but it doesn't matter because we are going to win at Darlington Raceway. Oh, God.
Hey, dinner's on me.
Okay, get out of the car. and accelerate. And so we win at North Roxborough, sure. I mean, North Roxborough is in the late in the season. Anyway, we were at Darlington. Second is Hubert. Third is Cassidy. Fourth is Cochrane. Fifth is Palmer. Then it's Nira Papuas, McBob, Zayn, Akabana, Engineers rounding up the top 10. Then let's see. Carlin Jones is finished last. No DNFs. Also no lap cars. I mean, it was getting pretty close, but it doesn't matter. Okay, let me check. Sharon finished 21st. Then Fia 27th. Let me check. Am I missing somebody? No. Then Riley 36th. And yeah. And actually, with the Symphony finish. Oh, she finished 18th. So, yeah. Okay. And with that, let's check out the standings, shall we? And so, Palmer still leads the way, and McBob and Dinner Papuas are now tied on points at 546, and we are still in fourth, 31 points behind the leader, and 19 points behind Dinner Papuas. So we are ever so slowly catching up to third. Cochrane is in fifth, Underwood in sixth, Ibrahimian is in seventh, Cassidy in eighth, Anderson in ninth, and Theo Volos running up the top 10. Of course, Michelle Hodak still last car. Then let me check. Sharon is in 18th. Cynthia in 23rd. Fia in 24th. And yeah. That's. And Riley is turning 45th. Jesus Christ. Only one top 10 to her name. Holy shit. But yeah. So, next race is going to be a Pensacola. And as long as I keep myself out of trouble, in case a wreck happens, I should be golden. And I really hope that the wreck actually involves the leaders so that I can gain a little bit more time. A little bit more on the points. But again, I need to not get involved in a crash, so I don't know what's going to happen in that one. But yeah, basically I need another TC USA situation. And unlike what happened there, I need to not screw this up. But anyway, this has been it for this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you see more content like this, hit subscribe, click the notification bell so you get the next video drops. And I have nothing else to say other than see you next video, everybody. This is Alpha, signing out.